I used to believe that being a truly good Christian meant I had to be a lifeline for anyone who was struggling. So I gave away my time, my money, and my emotional energy until, well, I was completely empty. I was wrung out like a dry sponge. Then I opened the book of Proverbs and found something that honestly shook me. God never told us to help every single person. In fact, He specifically tells us there are certain people we shouldn't help. And you know what? When I finally gave myself permission to stop helping these 5 types of people, my life began to transform. The first person on this list might surprise you because we're so often taught to rush in and rescue them. But listen to what Proverbs 19:19 says. A man of great wrath will pay the penalty, for if you deliver him, you will only have to do it again. We're talking about the person who is always in a crisis. The one who creates the same disaster for themselves month after month, and then ignores every bit of advice you offer. You know exactly who I'm talking about. They lose their job because they flew off the handle at their boss. And so you step in, you help them cover their rent, you gently share scripture about self-control. But then what happens? 2 months later, it's the exact same story, just a different boss and the same old excuses. They want a handout, but not a hand up. Proverbs 13:18 is crystal clear. Poverty and disgrace come to him who ignores instruction. Every time you rescue them from the consequences of their actions, you're actually stealing the painful lesson that could finally change them. You're not being kind. Hitting the like button isn't just for us. It's a psychological trigger for you. It solidifies this truth in your mind. You can now see the difference between a cry for help and a demand for a rescue. This is for the person who is tired of being a bandage for a self-inflicted wound. You're starting to see that true help isn't rescuing someone from a lesson they need to learn. If you're ready to stop the cycle, affirm it in the comments right now. I am a helper, not an enabler. Writing these words is a declaration that you're choosing transformation for them and for you. All right, number 2, the gossip. Proverbs 20:19 warns us, whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a simple babbler. Now, here's the real deal with gossips. They aren't just a little annoying, they're actually dangerous. That person at church who always has the latest tea about everyone. It's time to stop giving them your information and your energy. Stop helping them with anything because they will twist your act of kindness into a story. They'll tell people you only helped because you felt guilty or because you were trying to look extra spiritual. Just think about Jesus with the woman at the well. He helped her, yes, but he didn't sit around and join her gossip session about the town. No, he redirected the conversation to something that mattered. By the way, if this is already making sense to you, click subscribe. We regularly uncover these hidden biblical truths that give you a clear advantage in a confusing world. This is just the surface. Now this next one can feel a little harsh for many of us Christians. It's the lazy person who simply refuses to work. 2 Thessalonians 3:10 does not mince words. It says, if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. Notice the key phrase there, not willing. This is not about the person who can't work. There's a massive difference. That single mom working 2 jobs who needs help with groceries. Of course, you help her. But the able-bodied person who's just waiting around for the perfect opportunity while they sleep until noon and play video games. Well, by helping them, you're just making their comfortable disobedience even more comfortable. The Apostle Paul was so serious about this. He said to let them feel hungry. Why? Because hunger is a powerful motivator. Your help might just be the very thing keeping them from moving. Type number 4 is the scoffer, and this one can be so incredibly draining. Proverbs 9:8 says, do not reprove a scoffer or he will hate you. Have you ever met this person? They ask for your advice, but then they argue with every word you say. They ask you to pray for them, and then you find out they're mocking your faith behind your back. They want your help, but they reject your God. And here's what's wild. Even Jesus performed miracles in some towns but walked away from others. Matthew 13:58 says, "He did not do many mighty works there because of their unbelief." Just let that sink in for a moment. If Jesus himself withheld help from scoffers, why do you think you're supposed to keep pouring yourself out for them? When you cast your pearls before swine, they will trample them and then turn and attack you. Pressing the like button is an act of reinforcing your own spiritual boundaries. It's a signal to your subconscious that you now have the insight to recognize who is genuinely seeking and who is secretly scoffing. This is for the person who has felt drained trying to pour into someone who has no desire to receive. You are realizing that your faith and your energy are treasures, not to be thrown away on those who will only mock them. If you are ready to protect your spirit, declare it in the comments. My energy is reserved for fertile ground. It's a powerful promise to yourself to invest where it matters. And finally, number 5, the constant complainer. Oh, this person will suck the very life out of a room. Remember the Israelites in the desert in Numbers 11. God was giving them miracle bread from heaven every single day, but it wasn't good enough. They complained they wanted meat. So what did God do? He gave them meat until it was literally coming out of their nostrils. And guess what? They still found something to complain about. Philippians 2:14 commands us, "Do everything without grumbling or complaining." This person drains your soul. Nothing is ever good enough. You help them find a job and they complain about the hours. You help with their bills and they complain about what you didn't cover. You pray with them and they complain God is too slow. Here's the truth. Complainers don't want solutions, they want an audience. The more you help them, the more material they have to complain about. You simply cannot keep watering dead seeds. This is for the person who is exhausted from pouring their water onto concrete. You now see that your time, your compassion, and your resources are precious. They are meant for soil where life can actually grow. If this is your turning point, affirm it again with us in the comments. My energy is reserved for fertile ground. This isn't a rejection of people. It's an alignment with God's purpose for your life. So here's the hard truth. Being nice isn't always the same as being obedient to God. Jesus loved every single person, but he didn't help every single person. He walked past pools full of sick people to heal one man. Setting boundaries isn't unloving, it's biblical. It doesn't make you cold-hearted, it makes you wise. The same Bible that commands us to love our neighbors also tells us to be as wise as serpents. If this video has given you a sense of clarity, hitting the like button helps anchor that feeling. Think of it as activating the wisdom to see who deserves your energy and who doesn't. And you just can't pour from an empty cup. God never called you to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. This is for the person who is unlearning the lie that a boundary is a wall. You're discovering that a boundary is actually a gate, one that you control. It's not about shutting the world out, it's about letting the right things in. It is the ultimate act of loving yourself and others wisely. If you're ready to live this truth, affirm it in the comments. My boundaries are an act of love. This is your permission slip to choose wisdom. When you stop helping the wrong people, you create the space to truly help the right people, the ones who are humble, teachable, and genuinely in need. So here's your challenge. Look at your life right now. Who is draining you? Who keeps taking but never ever changes? It's time to set some biblical boundaries. Pray on it and then act. And yes, they might get angry. They might call you fake or unchristian. But just remember, even Jesus was called names by the very people he refused to enable. If this video convicted you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if this video convicted you, share it. You're not just sending a video, you're sending out a signal. You'll be surprised who responds. The other people who, just like you, are ready to see the world with clear eyes. It's how we find each other. Drop a comment and share with us if you're helping any of these 5 types and how it's affecting you. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to Wings of Blessing. This is your invitation to access the deeper truths we uncover every week, the kind of scripture-based content that strengthens your faith without the fluff. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is stop helping. Let's choose wisdom over people-pleasing. God bless.